Here's my little generator project I started out with. A generator that I purchased off of eBay. Airplane flying over. And here's where we're at so far. I trenched in the electrical, which includes a 2-inch conduit with a 3/4 inch conduit. The 2-inch conduit has the 2-gauge THWN copper cable and a ground, as well as a control cable, which is right here. And this over here is for a additional circuit for the battery charger and block heater for the generator. And then going the opposite direction in a different trench is this line here, which is the fuel line. In this case, this generator is using propane. And so here we have our fuel line trench. It's 18 inches to the top of the conduit. It's 2-inch ABS conduit, just as the spec is supposed to be. And we've got a stub out here. This particular spot over here is where the fuel tank is destined to be. And looking back from where the fuel tank is going to be, back over toward the house, this way. So you can see it meets all the specs as far as the fuel tank, a 500-gallon above ground propane tank, and then the generator. The generator is a Kohler 22RY industrial generator. I couldn't do just a little Generac or whatever. It just wasn't industrial enough for me. And in this particular container, which is a sound attenuation enclosure, gets the sound when the generator is running down to something crazy like 62 decibels, which is, you could have a conversation next to it. So electrical conduit's coming this way. Trench was inspected and all filled in. Doing some work as well on a retaining wall here, but you could see the stub ups coming into the house. Both the 2-inch conduit here and the 3/4 inch conduit going in there. Okay, so here's the electrical going into the house. This is the old transfer switch. It's just kind of hanging there right now. It's a manual transfer switch where you've got to hook a generator into it, plug it into it, and flip the individual circuits. This generator, because of its size and etc., will be a whole house generator. So we've got the 2-inch, sorry for the blurry picture, the 2-inch conduit here and a 1.5-inch conduit here. So the way this is going to work is the main line that's right now over the panel, this gray line here, will be cut over to the whole house transfer switch here, and then it will come down to the preferred power input here. And then, as you can see, the alternate over to the generator is already connected, and right behind it is the load. So the load is going to come down to this conduit here, go over and into my main circuit breaker panel. So that's how that works. This is an ASCO 185 transfer switch, a little bit more industrial than say some of the other transfer switches out there. It's a 200 amp transfer switch, so it will easily handle the entire home. The generator will start and take the entire house on the load. And so there will be a 3-aught copper going between that panel and the current electrical panel, which will carry the entire 200 amps. In fact, I think it's rated to like 225 amps, so should be no problem there. This is the generator itself. As you can see, it's out of the housing. The way it's going to work is the generator will be, once the concrete pad is poured, hopefully this week, this Memorial Day weekend, the plan is to lift this thing up and set it on the conduit, or set it on the pad rather, hook all the conduits and everything up to it, and the fuel supply line, so that end will be all ready to go. It uses a little Ford industrial 4-cylinder water-cooled engine, and here's the controls to the generator, at least on the inside. Circuit breaker here, fuel valves and regulators here, and as I said, it's got a quiet muffler system on it too. So I'm anxious to get it going in time for hurricane season. Here's the battery charger here, and the block heater is over on the other side. But you get an idea of what this guy looks like. Easily should handle the entire house load. So what's next on the agenda? Well, next is we got to get this pad poured. before we could set the generator on the pad. Like I said, the electrical inspector came and inspected the trench for the electrical and in my overall plans for how I'm going to install things, so that's all taken care of. So now I need to find a company that will come in and do the fuel connection, sell me a tank, 500-gallon tank, regulator, and then hook that all up, and I guess they'll pull a permit, although, you know, I may just go ahead and pull the permit just because it's taking so long for these other folks to get going on it. I may just handle it myself. I've done all the electrical myself, I've done the design myself, and so far so good. The electrical inspector seemed to be very pleased with this setup, and I think it's certainly as good as, if not better, than what you would find in your typical house generator installation. This fuel tank that's on the side of the house, this just runs the cooktop and the fireplace. It's not big enough to run a generator of this size for very long. So a 500-gallon tank will go over there. So there you go. So I should have another update in about a week or so check back then.